Well, actually, we're trying to bring you up to speed on that particular one. So many developments on the ASUU strike. Well, joining us to look at it this morning is BC Akin-Alabi. She's an education consultant, early years learning expert, and life coach and trainer. Good morning, and thanks for joining us.
Good morning.
Well, this has been on, and one would have expected that by now would have gone back. Now, let's look at strikes as a tool to getting things done for us as a people.
The starting point is that as educators, we know that our collective responsibility is to provide equitable education, access, and sustainable education. And strike, it's not, I'm going to talk from an idealistic point of view this morning. I'm not going to try and bring one party down or the other party down, but I'm going to talk as an education expert and in relation to what we have in any part of the world. That's what I'm going to concern myself on. And strike and education doesn't go side by side, because education is a tool for development. And as experts, what they are meant to do, our dons, is to continue to work while they picket. For example, I've been in the educational sector in the United Kingdom for over 20 years, and we don't, I repeat, we don't strike, we picket. What that means is that while some lecturers or teachers, depending on the level, are still in the classroom, some of them will take turns to stand with placards to talk of what they want. Because basically, we need to be, if we're really committed, the problem we have in Nigeria is that most of us in the education sector got there because we couldn't make our first choice. Our first choice
in different
ambition in another field, then we are committed to the classroom. Whereas in the other parts of the world, in the developed part of the world, people that are in education are absolutely die for, they will absolutely die for
I don't think that that's the same with the universities.
Yes, I understand what you're saying, but how did they get to the universities to start for? Number one.
Because I know the brightest actually come from that, get into academics. Actually, those who were in class with us, who were the brightest, finally went into lecturing.
Yes, yes, you're right. That is the case. But there are some of them that got there because they couldn't make their first choice of ambition. Career ambition. But that's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about today is about the strike, which 5 months out of the future of this country, it's unthinkable. We cannot begin to know the cost. We need to reawaken. Both the government and the ASUU side need to wake up to the cost of 5 months away. You know, we've done that in the Abacha days. You know, and we think, okay, it's because it's military. It's appalling to know that we have a democratically elected government, and they fold their arms and allow this to go on for 5 months. Because number one, the government has, education is a human right. Our children have the right to qualitative, equitable education and access.
Did they really fold their hands? Because they've always been meeting, leading up to the big meeting where the president was in attendance. So they've always met.
That's the reason why I'm saying they're folding their arms. Because at the end of the day, we don't need too many dramas. Because what I can see following this is just dramas upon dramas, which even led to one academic don passing away because of accident and all that. It's unnecessary. We play charade in this country. We're always playing games. We're always sizing things instead of us. And education is about fact and not fiction. So these people, both the ASUU and the representative of government, must be experts in education and should know what's at stake so that they don't drag their feet and let this continue for too long. For example, our president was the vice president when they signed what the agreement initially. He knew about this agreement. He was a don himself before he became our president. So why, to me, it's like letting down his own, because we know in every part of the world, not just Nigeria, when a professional becomes a president, he enhances that sector because it belongs to that sector. For example, when Gowon became the Nigerian prime minister or
head of state,
the wife enhanced the nursing profession because she was a nurse. You know, I was young then, but I knew. So at the end of the day, I expected more from this particular government because of the person in the mantle of affairs. I expected that he would understand the cost to Nigeria. I'm not even thinking of, don't let's look at the children anymore, because it's obvious that they don't care about the student. If they do, we will not be where we are today.
Now, some people will say that, you know, that will not be a fair statement, in the sense that the federal government will say, maybe they might admit errors or blunders, but, you know, after they have met with the president, you know, they have said that this is the first time the president of a country will sit and meet with ASUU. Yeah. And they had a really lengthy meeting, you know, meeting for about 13 hours or thereabout. And then they were done, and it was just for them to sign a couple of things. We also had members of ASUU here who felt that after that meeting, ASUU should have called off the strike in good faith. You know, maybe to honor the president. Some say, give him a chance to go back on his word to us. Let us take him at his word.
I know.
You know, the question I think the government might be asking is, what else can we do, really?
Well, you see, it's easy for people to say the dons should go on and take the president for his word. But it's a Nigerian thing. We have seen, not just in education, over and over again, our leaders go back on their words. Our leaders don't have the integrity, and that's what it shows. But not saying that two wrongs make a right, like you said. The ideal thing will have been for the don, because listen, education is the base for societal development. So basically, we should be seeing, they should be leading in moral, in good practices from the educational sector. I will have expected that they will go and say, we know that the government of this country is used to going back on its words and playing lip service, especially to education. But we are going to go back pending. We give them X amount of time to ensure that we tidy up this thing, whereby the struggle continues.